Senior trade and economic officials from the Melanesian Spearhead Group countries took part in an important series of key trade meetings from the 24th to the 31st of August 2015, culminated with the third MSG Trade Ministers meeting on 31st August. The meetings, which were held at the Tanoa International Hotel in Nadi, Fiji, are part of talks towards a new and more comprehensive trade agreement, known as MSG TA3, that will now include trading services and new chapters such as labour mobility, investment and telecommunications. MSG leaders have directed that the draft legal text of the trade agreement must be ready by November 2015. The talks began with the technical working group negotiations on MSG TA3, trade in goods and trade in services, which reviewed and negotiated the progressively revised legal text of the draft MSG trade agreement. This was from the 24th to the 26th of August. This was followed by the third Heads of Investment Promotion Agencies and Industry Officials meeting on 27th August 2015, which focused on private sector policy issues in MSG countries. The meeting looked at the investment and private sector development priorities of the MSG Secretariat, in sync with the goals of the Pacific Integration Trade Assistance Project, PTEP. The Trade and Economic Officials meeting took place on 28 August 2015. Senior trade and economic officials discussed the report of the Technical Working Group meetings on goods and services and considered outcomes and recommendations arising from the Technical Working Group meetings on the MSG TA3. Finally, on 31st August, MSG Trade Ministers met under the chairmanship of Solomon Islands Minister for Foreign Affairs and External Trade, Milna Tozoka. The TMM considered the outcomes and recommendations from the Trade and Economic Officials meeting pertaining to the state of play on the draft MSG TA3 negotiations. The trade ministers provided the guidance and the mandate required to further progress the remaining provisions in the draft legal text for completion by November 2015. These important trade meetings were supported and funded by MSG members and the European Union under the Pacific Integration Technical Assistance Project, or PTEP. Also discussed at the meeting was the first ever regional study on an MSG private sector development strategy, which is currently being finalized. MSG officials have been pleased with the progress made so far on some of the key issues and are confident that an agreement will be ready for adoption when they next meet for the final round of negotiations in November in New Caledonia.